For years, Dubai sold the world a fantasy that seemed unstoppable, a futuristic paradise rising from the desert, a city filled with luxury hotels, artificial islands, seven-star experiences, and record-breaking skyscrapers designed to make every other destination on Earth look ordinary. Millions of tourists flooded into the city every year, chasing the promise of wealth, glamour, and the feeling of stepping into the future itself. But now, something strange is happening. The people first noticing the change are not billionaires or investors. They are the workers quietly watching the city from behind hotel counters, inside empty restaurants, and across silent shopping malls. Concierges, waiters, drivers, tour guides, and hotel cleaners are beginning to describe a version of Dubai that tourists rarely see online. A version where luxury hotels suddenly have entire floors sitting empty, where restaurants struggle to fill tables that once required reservations weeks in advance, where expensive attractions feel quieter than ever before, and where workers themselves are openly questioning whether Dubai's tourism miracle is starting to crack. Because beneath the glowing skyline, the city is facing growing pressure from every direction. Rising prices, brutal climate conditions, stronger international competition, and a growing reputation for feeling artificial, expensive, and disconnected from authentic culture. Today, we're diving into the uncomfortable reality many workers inside Dubai's tourism industry are quietly discussing behind closed doors. Is Dubai simply going through a temporary slowdown? Or is one of the world's most famous luxury destinations beginning to lose the very thing that made it powerful in the first place? There was a time when visiting Dubai felt almost impossible to organize at the last minute. Luxury hotels were packed with international tourists. Reservations at famous restaurants disappeared weeks in advance. The observation deck at the Burj Khalifa was crowded almost every hour of the day, and the giant corridors of the Dubai Mall felt like rivers of people flowing non-stop through luxury stores and designer boutiques. For years, Dubai projected the image of a city that never slowed down. But according to many workers inside the tourism industry, that atmosphere has changed in ways that are becoming impossible to ignore. Employees working in hotels, restaurants, shopping centers, and tourist attractions are increasingly describing the same unsettling trend. Dubai feels quieter than it used to. Hotel workers in areas like Dubai Marina, downtown Dubai, and Palm Jumeirah quietly report seeing fewer guests compared to previous years. Some describe entire hotel floors sitting empty during periods that once would have been considered peak season. Housekeeping staff talk about rooms remaining untouched for days at a time, creating what some employees privately call vertical ghost floors. Tour guides are seeing similar patterns. Operators who previously ran multiple desert safaris every day now sometimes struggle to fill even one group. Drivers waiting outside luxury malls spend longer periods parked without customers. Restaurant staff say walk-in traffic has become less predictable, even on weekends that once guaranteed full bookings. And the workers witnessing these changes every day are beginning to ask a dangerous question. Has Dubai finally reached the limit of its luxury tourism model? Because the deeper issue goes far beyond empty tables or slower hotel bookings. The real problem is money. Dubai spent decades positioning itself as one of the most luxurious destinations on Earth. But according to growing numbers of visitors, the city has become so expensive that many travelers no longer believe the experience justifies the cost. A mid-range hotel room in central Dubai during busy season can now cost more than comparable stays in cities like Tokyo, Paris, or even parts of New York City. A family visiting for just a few days can easily spend thousands of dollars once accommodation, transportation, attractions, and dining are included. And the spending starts immediately. Breakfast inside many hotel restaurants can cost shocking amounts for simple meals. Popular attractions charge premium entry fees almost everywhere. Transportation becomes expensive because major tourist districts are spread far apart, forcing many visitors to rely heavily on taxis or ride services. Workers in hospitality say tourists increasingly react with visible frustration once they start calculating how fast their budgets disappear. Visitors still arrive expecting luxury, but many leave feeling financially drained. That frustration spreads online very quickly. Travel review sites increasingly contain complaints about inflated pricing, expensive attractions, and experiences that travelers describe as overrated or not worth the money. For a city built heavily around image, reputation, and aspiration, this kind of feedback becomes extremely dangerous. Because luxury tourism depends on one critical thing above all else: people must believe the experience is worth paying for, and that belief is becoming weaker. The deeper issue is that Dubai's identity was built around non-stop escalation: bigger malls, taller towers, more expensive attractions, more extravagant experiences. But eventually, there comes a moment when tourists stop being impressed by size alone and start asking a much simpler question: why am I spending this much money here instead of somewhere else? And once enough people begin asking that question at the same time, even one of the world's most famous luxury cities can start feeling surprisingly empty. For years, Dubai successfully convinced the world that extreme desert heat was simply part of the luxury experience. The city marketed endless sunshine, glamorous beaches, rooftop pools, and futuristic outdoor attractions as symbols of paradise. And during the cooler months, Dubai can genuinely feel spectacular blue skies, warm evenings, luxury resorts, and some of the most visually impressive skylines on Earth. But outside those comfortable periods, the climate becomes something much more difficult to ignore. And according to many tourism workers, the weather is slowly turning into one of Dubai's biggest hidden problems. From May to September, temperatures regularly climb above 108 degrees Fahrenheit, 42 degrees Celsius. During peak summer periods, the heat can push even higher, while coastal humidity creates suffocating conditions that many visitors are completely unprepared for. Workers across the tourism industry describe tourists arriving excited for outdoor adventures, only to become physically exhausted within minutes. Tour guides say walking tours often end early because visitors cannot tolerate the heat long enough to continue. Desert safari operators report increasing numbers of tourists suffering dizziness, dehydration, and exhaustion before tours even properly begin. Some workers admit they now carry far more water and schedule more breaks simply because the environment has become too physically intense for many visitors. And the worst part is that Dubai's tourism image depends heavily on outdoor spectacle. The city's global brand revolves around beaches, yacht clubs, rooftop dining, giant fountains, luxury promenades, desert experiences, and outdoor nightlife. But during the hottest months, even short walks outside can feel overwhelming. Workers near the famous Dubai fountain say many tourists now choose to watch the shows from behind glass windows inside nearby cafes, instead of standing outside in the heat. Beach clubs that once symbolized luxury struggle to attract guests during summer, despite aggressive promotions and discounts. The city's solution has been predictable: build more indoor attractions, massive malls, indoor amusement parks, air-conditioned entertainment complexes, even indoor ski resorts operating in the middle of the desert. But, according to many workers, that strategy creates another dangerous problem. The experiences stop feeling unique. Luxury malls exist everywhere now. Indoor attractions can be found in major cities across Asia, Europe, and North America. Tourists increasingly ask themselves a difficult question: why travel halfway across the world to stay inside air-conditioned buildings that feel similar to places back home? That question cuts directly into Dubai's biggest strength: for decades novelty. The city once felt futuristic and almost unbelievable. But as more countries build luxury entertainment districts and giant commercial centers, Dubai's indoor experiences no longer feel as revolutionary as they once did. Meanwhile, climate concerns are becoming more serious globally. Scientists continue warning that Gulf cities face growing environmental pressure as temperatures rise year after year. Discussions about wet bulb temperatures, combinations of heat and humidity dangerous for human survival without cooling, are becoming increasingly common in climate studies involving the region. Dubai has not reached those catastrophic limits, but tourists are paying attention. Travelers today are more informed than ever before. Families compare weather conditions before booking vacations. Many tourists now prioritize comfort, walkability, and natural experiences over extreme luxury environments. And when travelers compare Dubai against destinations like Thailand, Bali, Greece, or parts of the Mediterranean, the difference becomes difficult to ignore. Other destinations offer beaches, luxury resorts, nightlife, and cultural experiences without forcing visitors to constantly escape into air conditioning. Workers in tourism quietly admit something many officials rarely say publicly. Summer in Dubai is becoming less of a low season and more of a no season. Some hotels reportedly struggle with extremely low occupancy during the hottest months, forcing heavy discounts just to fill rooms. Outdoor tourism activities become harder to sell, and the city's famous luxury lifestyle suddenly starts feeling physically exhausting instead of glamorous. Because no matter how futuristic Dubai becomes, there is one reality it still cannot fully control: the desert itself. For nearly 2 decades, Dubai dominated luxury tourism in the Middle East, almost without serious competition. If travelers wanted futuristic skylines, luxury shopping, giant hotels, and over-the-top entertainment in the Gulf region, Dubai was the obvious choice. The city became the face of modern Middle Eastern tourism, flashy, ambitious, and constantly expanding faster than anyone thought possible. But according to many tourism workers, that dominance is no longer guaranteed, because Dubai is now facing something it has not experienced in years: real competition. And the most dangerous rival may be emerging directly next door. Saudi Arabia has launched one of the largest tourism transformation projects in modern history through its massive Vision 2030 initiative. Hundreds of billions of dollars are being invested into luxury resorts, entertainment, historical tourism, mega events, and futuristic developments designed specifically to challenge Dubai's regional dominance. But what makes Saudi Arabia especially dangerous is that it offers something many critics say Dubai lacks: authentic historical depth. Places like Al Lula, with its ancient rock formations and UNESCO heritage sites, provide experiences deeply connected to real history and culture. Massive projects along the Red Sea coast promise luxury tourism, combined with beaches, nature, and weather conditions that many travelers find more comfortable than Dubai's brutal summer heat. Saudi Arabia is also rapidly modernizing entertainment regulations that once pushed visitors toward Dubai instead. Concerts, sporting events, tourism visas, nightlife, and large international festivals are now expanding quickly inside the kingdom. And according to workers in the Gulf tourism industry, tourists are noticing. For years, Dubai benefited from being the most open and internationally accessible luxury destination in the region. But as neighboring countries modernize aggressively, Dubai's uniqueness begins weakening. At the same time, Qatar continues building on the global exposure created by the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Workers moving between hotels in Doha and Dubai reportedly describe Qatar offering highly competitive salaries, modern infrastructure, and luxury tourism experiences at lower overall costs. Doha's smaller geography also makes transportation easier and less expensive for visitors compared to Dubai's sprawling layout. And then there's the larger global problem. Dubai is no longer competing only against the Gulf. It is competing against the entire world. Classic destinations like Rome, Barcelona, Athens, and Paris recovered strongly after the pandemic, attracting tourists seeking history, walkable cities, food culture, and emotional experiences rooted in real identity. Meanwhile, Southeast Asian destinations like Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia continue attracting luxury travelers with tropical environments, lower prices, and deeper cultural immersion. For many tourists, the comparison becomes brutal. A luxury resort in Bali or Phuket can offer beaches, nature, nightlife, and premium hospitality for significantly less money than a standard luxury stay in Dubai. European cities provide centuries of architecture, history, and local atmosphere at prices many travelers now view as more reasonable. Workers inside Dubai's tourism sector say they increasingly see traditional customer groups choosing alternative destinations instead. Indian travelers, historically one of Dubai's strongest tourism markets, now have expanding domestic luxury options and easier access to Europe and Southeast Asia. Chinese tourists recovering after the pandemic often prioritize Japan, Singapore, or tropical Asian destinations over the Gulf. Even British tourists facing financial pressure increasingly choose Mediterranean vacations instead of expensive Gulf trips. And perhaps the most dangerous part for Dubai is this: the city no longer feels new. For years, novelty was Dubai's greatest weapon. The skyline, artificial islands, luxury malls, and futuristic atmosphere once felt unbelievable to first-time visitors. But now, many travelers have already seen it online thousands of times. The shock factor is fading, and once that excitement disappears, tourists begin judging Dubai much more critically on price, comfort, authenticity, and overall value. That shift becomes extremely dangerous for a city built so heavily on image and aspiration. Because once people stop seeing Dubai as a once-in-a-lifetime destination, it becomes just another expensive option, competing in an increasingly crowded global market. One of the biggest problems quietly discussed by workers inside Dubai's tourism industry is something money cannot easily solve. The city struggles to feel real. At first glance, Dubai looks breathtaking. Giant skyscrapers rise from the desert like something from a science fiction movie. Luxury hotels glow across artificial islands. Massive malls, rooftop infinity pools, and futuristic architecture create the image of a city designed entirely around perfection. But according to many visitors and even some tourism workers themselves, the longer people stay in Dubai, the more the illusion starts to weaken. Because beneath the luxury, many travelers begin noticing something strange. Dubai often feels manufactured rather than naturally alive. Critics describe the city as a collection of imported ideas blended together into one massive commercial project. Venetian-style canals sit beside American-style shopping centers. Artificial old towns attempt to recreate history that was never truly there. Luxury districts borrow design influences from Europe, Asia, and North America, all at the same time. The result impresses people visually, but emotionally, some tourists say the city feels empty. Workers inside the tourism sector admit this creates difficult moments during tours and cultural experiences. Visitors often ask questions about Dubai's history, traditions, and identity. But beyond the city's explosive transformation over the last 50 years, there is comparatively little historical depth visible to tourists compared to older global destinations. Cities like Rome, Istanbul, Kyoto, or Cairo naturally immerse visitors in centuries of architecture, stories, and culture. Dubai, by contrast, developed at extraordinary speed. It built the future first and only later started trying to build a deeper identity around it. And modern travelers are increasingly searching for something more than luxury alone. People want authentic food, real neighborhoods, local traditions, emotional connection, stories that feel deeply rooted in place. This is where Dubai faces a serious problem. Many of the city's most popular tourism experiences follow highly commercialized formulas designed for mass consumption. Desert safaris, for example, often look nearly identical regardless of which company tourists book, with the same dune driving, the same staged entertainment, the same generic buffet dinners repeated night after night. Some tourism workers privately describe it as cultural theater rather than genuine cultural immersion. The same issue appears in the food scene. Dubai offers thousands of international restaurants from around the world, but many visitors are surprised by how difficult it can be to experience truly traditional Emirati cuisine in a meaningful way. Instead, tourists often encounter heavily globalized dining experiences that could exist almost anywhere. Architecture faces similar criticism. The Burj Khalifa is visually spectacular, but it could theoretically stand in almost any modern megacity. The Dubai Mall resembles giant commercial centers found across the world. Entire luxury districts sometimes feel interchangeable with wealthy developments in other countries. Workers say tourists increasingly notice this lack of unique identity after spending several days in the city, and social media has intensified the problem dramatically. Online, Dubai looks flawless: crystal blue skies, exotic cars, luxury beaches, and futuristic skylines glowing beneath perfect lighting. But real life inside the city often feels very different. Construction dust, long driving distances, traffic congestion, and extreme heat create a reality far less cinematic than the filtered version tourists expect. Workers describe visitors arriving with huge expectations created by Instagram and viral videos, only to feel disappointed once the filters disappear. And that disappointment matters because global tourism is changing. Younger travelers increasingly prioritize authenticity over pure luxury. They want places that feel emotionally alive rather than carefully manufactured for social media content. Dubai still dominates visually, but many workers inside the tourism industry fear the city is struggling to create something deeper, a sense of soul, identity, and emotional connection strong enough to survive once the novelty fades away. Because luxury can attract attention, but authenticity is what makes people truly remember a place forever. Behind Dubai's luxury image exists another reality that most tourists never fully see. The giant hotels, shopping malls, rooftop restaurants, luxury resorts, airports, and tourist attractions that keep the city functioning every single day rely heavily on hundreds of thousands of expatriate workers from countries across South Asia, the Philippines, and parts of Africa. And according to many workers themselves, the pressure inside the system is becoming harder to hide. Employees in hospitality often work extremely long hours under intense expectations while earning salaries that remain surprisingly modest compared to the enormous wealth surrounding them. Hotel cleaners, restaurant servers, drivers, security guards, and maintenance crews are expected to maintain world-class service standards while dealing with rising workloads, expensive living costs, and growing stress. Some workers describe hotels reducing staffing levels to cut expenses while forcing remaining employees to handle far more rooms and guests than before. Housekeeping employees reportedly clean up to 14 to 18 rooms per shift in some properties, rushing constantly just to keep pace. Restaurant workers describe dealing with frustrated tourists complaining about high prices, long waits, or disappointing experiences. Drivers spend hours trapped in traffic, transporting visitors across a city designed heavily around cars and long-distance travel. And many workers quietly admit something tourists rarely think about. For a large percentage of employees, Dubai is not a glamorous dream. It is survival. Entry-level hospitality salaries often remain relatively low compared to the cost of life in one of the world's most expensive luxury cities. Many workers send significant portions of their income back home to support families while living in shared accommodations, far from the glittering districts tourists see online. The contrast can feel almost surreal. A tourist may spend more money during a single dinner than a worker earns after several days of labor. Critics have also long raised concerns about labor systems historically associated with parts of the Gulf region, particularly sponsorship structures tying residency status closely to employment. While reforms and labor changes have been introduced in recent years, debates surrounding worker protections and power imbalances continue internationally. For workers already under pressure, slowing tourism creates even more anxiety. Hotels facing weaker occupancy rates often cut costs aggressively. Employees worry about layoffs, reduced hours, or losing residency status tied to their jobs. Some workers describe a constant fear of being replaced if business conditions worsen, and tourists increasingly notice the cracks. Workers admit exhaustion affects service quality. Mistakes happen more often, staff morale weakens, wait times grow longer. Small frustrations begin damaging the polished luxury image Dubai spent decades carefully building. The danger is that luxury tourism depends heavily on perception. Visitors paying premium prices expect perfection. They expect flawless service, energy, excitement, and experiences that feel effortless. But maintaining that illusion becomes extremely difficult when the people behind the scenes are physically and emotionally exhausted. And perhaps this is the deeper reality now facing Dubai. The city built itself as a symbol of perfection, cleaner, richer, bigger, and more futuristic than anywhere else in the region. But perfection is incredibly expensive to maintain. It requires endless investment, endless labor, endless growth, endless tourism. and according to many workers quietly watching the city from inside hotel hallways, shopping malls, and luxury resorts. The pressure needed to keep that machine running may finally be reaching dangerous levels. Because behind every glowing skyscraper and luxury advertisement is a workforce carrying the weight of the entire illusion. And some of them are beginning to wonder how much longer the system can continue operating like this before something eventually breaks. Dubai still looks extraordinary from the outside. The skyline still glows like the future. Luxury cars still race through streets lined with skyscrapers. Influencers continue posting rooftop infinity pools, giant shopping malls, and sunsets over artificial islands that seem almost unreal. To millions of people around the world, Dubai still represents wealth, ambition, and modern luxury at the highest level possible. But beneath the polished image, something is clearly changing. Workers across the tourism industry are beginning to describe a city under growing pressure. Hotels struggling to maintain occupancy, restaurants fighting to fill tables, tourists questioning whether the experience is truly worth the rising cost, employees working harder than ever while trying to preserve the illusion of effortless luxury. And perhaps the biggest problem is this: the world itself is changing. Modern travelers increasingly want authenticity, culture, comfort, and emotional connection, not just giant buildings and expensive attractions. Competing destinations across Europe, Asia, and even the wider Middle East are now offering luxury experiences with stronger cultural identity, lower costs, and more natural environments. At the same time, Dubai faces challenges that money alone cannot fully control. Extreme heat, environmental pressure, rising global competition, and a growing sense that the city's futuristic image no longer feels as unique as it once did. None of this means Dubai is collapsing tomorrow. The city remains enormously wealthy, globally connected, and capable of reinventing itself faster than most places on Earth. Dubai has repeatedly surprised critics before, but the cracks are becoming harder to ignore, because the deeper fear surrounding Dubai is no longer simply about tourism numbers or hotel occupancy rates. It is about identity. Can a city built so heavily around spectacle and non-stop expansion create something lasting enough to survive once the excitement fades? Or will Dubai eventually become remembered as one of the most ambitious luxury experiments ever, created a city that looked unstoppable, until the world slowly stopped believing in the dream the same way it once did? That question may define Dubai's future more than any skyscraper ever will.